Hi. So I'm just about to show you a video which is the tab binding process of this little journal that we're making. And when I watched it back to edit the video, I realised what an absolutely diabolical job I have done of explaining exactly how to do tab binding. So I'm just going to do a separate explanation before you watch the video, if you stick around to watch the video. So I'm going to show you with these are just some old offcuts, some pieces of cardstock that are all the same size, and some washi tape, and that's going to show you. I'm going to show you how to do it. So you will get your pieces of card or whatever you're binding together, including your front and your back covers. So let's make the spotty ones the front and back, so we know what we're doing. We will always bind on this side, and the look we are going to end up achieving is kind of like this. So you'll see lots of dotted loops. So for the first piece, we tend to do 3 binds. We alternate. We'll do 3 and then 2 and then 3 and then 2. So you will get whatever you are binding with. So be it, could be washi tape, could be fabric tape, could be paper, whatever you're binding with. And we will apply our 3 strips to the front. Okay, and then we will not stick them to this. We will open that page, and then we're going to the first page. We want to apply our tabs to the first inner page. So we're going to apply 2. So we've done 3, and now we're going to apply 2, and we're going to put them in the gaps. So just 2 in the gaps. And what we're going to do is then fold this back and line it up. So you can see our tabs, if I'd put them on straight, fit in between each other. And the 3 from the first page, we're going to fold over and stick down here. Now, in the video, I start ranting on about bulk and putting bulk onto the pages. If I take my tabs and tie them really, really tightly and like stick them right up, I can only open my book like this. If I leave a bit of a gap and sort of leave so much, and if it weren't going to stick together, your pages are going to be looser together, such as these. So I've left a bit of a gap, so when I open them up, I've got room to put bulk. If I'd put these really tight, if I'd pulled this binding really tight, I'd open it like a birthday card, for example, and I wouldn't be able to put anything inside it without the pages lifting like this. Now that I've got a thicker, tiny spine on this particular tab, my page will lift up like this and will remain flat. The point is you want them all to stay flat. So I'm just going to fold these tight just to show you the difference. So I'm folding the 3 from the first page from the cover. Now I'm going to go back to my next page. So we did 3 then 2. So I'm back onto a 3. I'm going to put them in the same place. Just realised this is Tim Holtz tape. This is bloody expensive. 2 and 3. I can't do it straight, can I? I'm going to fold that over. And I'm going to use my 2s from the previous page, line them up, to stick them together. And it carries on for however many pages you've got. So I've just done a 3, so this time I'm doing a 2. I will fold it over, line it up, fold back my 3s. This page, I've just done a 2, so I'm going to do a 3. I'll do it the whole way through. Pick it up, fold it back, fold back my 2s. Now I'm on the last page. I don't need to add any more tape because I'm going to have nothing behind it to stick to. So I can just lie this down where I want. I mean, if it's a book, you'd probably have it that way. And then my last tabs will fold over and attach them all together. And if I go really close, you can probably, or maybe you can see all the tabs. Now I did these tight like a birthday card. So when I open them up, you can see the middle bit, or spine, if you want to call it that, is teeny tiny. If I started adding loads of bulky pieces like this, sorry, I knocked you then, like this, and close my card, and I've added more and more, and another tag in the pocket, it's going to start lifting like this. There's no space for this side to lift up to even it out. If I add that level of bulk to one with a bigger spine, it'll sit flatter because I've got the space to accommodate it. So I hope that makes sense. This was obviously a more awkward bind because I've got pages that are different sizes. So on this tab, I've had to only do one. But you'll see that in a second. But I just wanted to just clarify, because when I watched it back, it was just the most diabolical explanation, tutorial, if you can call it that, ever. And it just made no sense. So there you are. So that, I hope that's a little bit more clear. There are lots of other tutorials I'm sure you can find that will be way better than mine. I do have another one on TikTok, on my TikTok page, with several different types of binding, which you're welcome to go and take a look at. But lots and lots of crafters. Suzy from, oh, what's she called? She does all the Tim Holtz stuff herself, and it's where I first saw tab binding, actually. I will link her channel below because I can't quite remember what it's called. But Suzy, she's fantastic at it and makes some really amazing, like, super cool stuff. Definitely have a look at her. Right, okay, on with the rest of the vid. Hello. So we put together in the last video our tab bound journal, and I think we're going to go ahead now and add the tabs. I've sort of looked through each page, and I think we're better putting the tabs on before we do the decorations, probably on every page. Now I was going to use this, and the only thing I would say about using fabric tape is it's sticky, obviously. Now if you're having really shallow gaps between yours, it doesn't really matter because there's not much sticky between your pages. If you're having a really deep page, you know you're going to have a lot of bulk on one page, so you're going to need quite a tall or deep tab, as it were. The tab that's remaining is sticky. And unless you cover the sticky, which is one option that I'm considering, you're going to end up with stuff stuck to it. You're going to end up with your tags and stuff getting stuck to it, or bits of dust and stuff over time. So unless you're going to cover the sticky in between, which I'm not sure, then you're going to have problems. Now the other thing you can do, of course, is use fabric. I do have some spooky fabric, but it's cartoon spooky. It's not really great spooky. So I'm just going to, I thought I dug it out, but I'm just going to go get some other fabric that we might consider. Hang on. Hello. So what I found is this fabric is what I had in mind. This is what I was kindly gifted by one of the school mums, actually, that she no longer needed. And I just thought that goes quite well with sort of the grungy style. It's a little bit grungy in of itself. So I've removed the stuff from the first couple of pages to start with, and I'm going to start tab binding. So I have to bear in mind my first page is quite short, so that's only going to be able to reach 2 tabs on there. Yeah, I'm going to keep it that way. We'll work it out. So normally what you would do, you would have 3 tabs on the front page. That is how I would start. Attach my 3 tabs, lie it down, attach 2 tabs, lie it down, and then fold my 3 over. But of course 3 aren't going to fit, so I'm going to have to start with 2. And I've got some glue on there already. Where's my cement thingy gone? I have one of those little rubber cement squares that gets rid of glue, and I can't see where it's there. If you ever get glue accidentally on a piece of cardstock or paper, or not something super thin, but one of these works perfectly, or the end of the side of a wax candle, a tea light. Little hint for you there. So I've cut these into strips already. I'm struggling to pick it up. So I'm going to have them on the side where you would expect there to be a spine. And in fact, I'm just going to mark them because I need them to make sure that they hit. So about there and about there. I need to make sure that I've got them in the right places. So I've got my glue already upside down. And I'm just going to add a dollop there. And where's the other one gone? A dollop there. I'm going to give it a little smush because that's what we do. And I'm going to add my tabby. One tabby. It's quite a thick one. It's quite... Oh, that's a fluffy one, isn't it? That's huge. I'd cut them down. Ah. Let's just have that one before the bloody glue dries. 2 tabbies. So it's quite a big tabby, but it's a tabby. And then I'm going to lie that way. And then on this one, technically what you should do is add 3. But I don't have 3 to add. I can only add 1. So I'm going to have to just put a blob in the middle. Because I decided I wanted a short page. And we'll add a tab there. I'm just going to cut this down a little bit because it's quite big. There. And I'm going to move that thread. I'm going to line it up because I want my tabs to reach. And what I'm then going to do is fold these over and attach them. And then we will attach, well, we'll attach 3, but we'll only have that attached by 1. So we're going to run with it. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. So that's what we're going to do on this one. Now I'm going to not pull these tabs super, super tight. Because if I pull these really, really tight, we are left with no spine or space to add anything at all. So as much as I am lining them up, I'm going to leave probably a couple of millimeters because obviously we've got the bulk we want to add to the page and we want these pages to sit quite flat if we can. So I'm just going to, not a whole lot, I'm just going to leave maybe that-ish. That's quite a short tab, but never mind. Never mind. I'm going to trim it. Just throw my other glue on the floor. Just going to trim that because that's humongous and doesn't need to be. There. So that's that one. So on this one, I'm going to... Let me just think. Do I need to go back and add my pieces before I forget? Shall I do that? Because otherwise I'm going to forget what's where. So you don't go there, you go there. You see what I mean? I'm going to forget what goes where. And I need you upside down because I need that glue. This one was... What was there? You were there. And then turn. And then these are going to go on there. That's fine. So I can leave this here. It's probably not going to cause me a problem. Let me just think this through. If I put one there and turn, I still need 3. I still need... This is the thing when you do them all different sizes. I will try and put 3 on here that are going to line up with this thing at the back. So the 1, let's have 2, let's have 3. So I'm going to add my 3 tabs. This will make sense as I'm doing it. 1 tab, 2 tabs, 3 tabs. So I want 1, 2, 3. Flip it. Remove these, Donny, you idiot. So I've had my tabs. Flip it and line it up. And then what we would normally have is 2 tabs to attach this, but I've only got 1. So 1 will have to do. So that little one is all that's holding this in. Yeah. Where's my glue gone? There it is. And then again, I'm not pulling it super tight. I'm leaving that tiny little bit of a space, and that's that. So before I continue, I'm just going to attach these. Just going to shove them there so I don't forget. Right, so I've got my tabs there. I'm just going to remove this and this. So here, what I need to remember is these 3 tabs are going to be stuck to this, so I need to put 2 here and here. Do you see? Do you see? There would normally have been 2 there, but there isn't. So let's put some of this awfully not gluey glue. It's really cold today, so this is not wanting to play, which is annoying. I need to make sure it's going to fit in the gap. So I'm just going to chop this down a little bit. So that's 1. And this skinny one I'll do. 2. Flip. Line up. And then the 3 that we did previously are going to catch. So, glue. I hope I've switched this blooming camera on. I'm going to be fuming if I haven't. 2. Horrible glue. 3. And then I'm going to fold but leave that little bit of space. Fold and leave that little bit of space. Fold and leave that little bit of space. And trim this ridiculous amount of fraying off. And then the last page, we just have to turn. And same again, just attach these. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, and I hope you could follow that. I do have a tab about, well, a full series about all different types of bookbinding on my TikTok page with a much more comprehensive example of how to do this type of binding. This is difficult because I decided to make it difficult by having different size pages. If all your pages were the same size, this would have been much more straightforward. But what I need to remember to do now whilst I'm prattling on is add the stuff back into place. I'm just going to glue this bit down a bit more. There we had the door, so shut up. So I'll have that way. This was this, I believe. And then these are going to be the waterfall pockets. They are there. So, I'm sure it didn't. I'd like to think it made sense, but I don't think it did. But that's kind of going to be our book. Rough and ready, but it's cool. It's totally cool. As the bulk sort of fills the pages, we'll find a little bit more security. This one isn't brilliant. I'm considering even adding an extra tab across here just for a little bit of structure, because it isn't great, but we'll see how we go. It is held the other side. It's just the fact that it's just this one little tabby here kind of bothers me, but we shall see. We shall see. See how we go. And then on the front, I'm going to keep putting this back on because I really... Oh, and the blue, yay. Yeah, I like how that's worked out. Sort of like that. It'll look nice when it's done, trust me.